And welcome back. Here's your latest housing market update based on a new report from Redfin. They reported yesterday that home sold prices nationwide posted the biggest increase year over year in the last 7 months, as demand is actually higher than the amount of houses for sale, as higher mortgage rates are deterring home sellers from selling their houses. That has pushed the average monthly housing payment to a new all-time record high, as housing affordability is actually getting worse than it was just a couple months ago. This report from Redfin actually covers the 4 weeks ended July 16th this year. So I have an update for you guys regarding home prices, housing inventory, price reductions, and of course, much more. And also the cities in which home prices are increasing the most, and also the cities in which home prices are decreasing the most as well. So let's first talk about the median sold price nationwide. It increased to $382,500. This is actually flat compared to last week, but it's still up by 2.1% from the same time frame in 2022, which, by the way, this 2.1% increase, that's the biggest increase since December of 2022. This also marks the second straight year-over-year increase after more than 4 months of decreases. So regarding that, the median sold price at $383,000, up by 2% year over year. The all-time record high was set back in June last year at $386,000. This means we're only $3,000 away from the all-time record highs that was set last year. One thing that you guys should be aware of, though, is we should be seeing a seasonal decrease in prices very soon. And this is actually really telling. Let me just look at this year only, because home prices were actually flat compared to last week. So we should be expecting that home prices will start to decrease. So it's a potential scenario in which we're not going to get to last year's highs, because we had this seasonal decrease in prices, and also due to the fact that we have record low housing affordability, which will also likely put downward pressure on prices as well. One more thing I do want to mention regarding home prices is that even if home prices decrease for the remainder of the year, we could end up with a scenario where home prices are still up compared to last year. This is because last year, starting in really June, all the way until the end of the year, home prices decreased greatly, especially in June through August last year. This year, we'll likely not see that because we're not seeing a spike in mortgage rates like we did last year. Of course, a lot could change, so make sure you're subscribed to this channel, and I'll definitely keep you posted with the latest developments. So let's get back to Redfin's report here. So home prices increased the most in Milwaukee, a gain of 12.2%, the only metro in which prices are up by double digits from 12 months ago. After that is Miami, Florida, a gain of 9.7%. Then Cincinnati, Ohio, increased by 9.5%. Newark, New Jersey, increased by 7.3%. And Anaheim, California, and the LA area rose by 6.9%. In contrast, home sold prices decreased in 20 of the 50 most populous metros. This means approximately 40% of the 50 biggest cities are now down compared to 12 months ago. Austin, Texas led the nation with a decrease of 9.2%. After that was Detroit, falling by 5.5%. Also a decrease of 5.5% in Las Vegas. Phoenix, Arizona fell by 5.1%. And Fort Worth, Texas also decreased by 5.1%. One thing I mentioned in my video that I made 1 week ago is this number right here, 20 metros out of the 50 most populous metros, is likely to decrease. In other words, we should be seeing fewer cities in which are down on a year-over-year basis, because again, inventory levels were skyrocketing this time last year, and of course, average monthly housing payments and mortgage rates were also increasing greatly as well. Not to say that our housing market is without its challenges right now. In my personal opinion, the biggest challenge regarding our housing market is a lack of housing affordability, as described in this report here, all-time record lows, because home prices and rates have been increasing. And speaking of that, the average monthly housing payment hit a new all-time record high of $2,656 per month at the current 6.96% rate. That's the weekly rate that Freddie Mac reported 1 week ago. Actually, let me just share their most recent report here. They actually announced their weekly survey regarding average rates across the United States every Thursday, I believe. So yesterday, which is July 20th, they reported the average monthly 30-year fixed rate for people with great credit was 6.78%. A little bit below levels reported by Redfin here at 6.96%. That was the average rate 1 week ago. But in any case, using that average rate of 6.96%, which actually coincides with the daily rate according to the Mortgage News Daily as of Friday, that reached a new record high and also up by 15% from a year ago. Here's a really good chart showing those average monthly housing payments. So for the 4 weeks ended July 16th, around $2,700. Compare this to the same time frame in 2020, your average payment was around $1,400. This means you're paying approximately $1,300 more per month to buy an average price home back in 2020 compared to now. And that's a whopping 93% increase in your average monthly housing payment, which is of course absolutely insane. And of course not sustainable, because I don't know about you guys, but my pay did not increase by 93% from 3 years ago. In other words, earnings on a national level have not increased by 92% since July of 2020. And this, in my opinion, is one of the main reasons why we see a lot of headwinds with buyers right now. And also, we should be seeing a decrease in prices very, very soon due to seasonality, but also due to this right there as well. Okay, let me give you guys an update regarding pending home sales, new listings, as well as housing inventory, or the number of houses for sale. Let's first talk about pending home sales, because that decreased by 14.8% on a year-over-year basis, continuing a year-plus streak of double-digit decrease in contracts being signed between buyers and sellers for existing houses. Meanwhile, there's only one metro in which, at the 50 most populous metros, in which pending home sales have actually increased year over year. That again is Austin, Texas, a gain of 2.8%. However, though, it decreased the most in Cleveland, Ohio. Pending home sales decreased by 30.4%. That was followed by Newark, New Jersey, Providence, Rhode Island, Warren, Michigan, and Boston, Massachusetts. So not only are we seeing a decrease of contracts being signed, but again, we're seeing a huge decrease of new listings, falling by 25.1% year over year. New listings also decreased in every single one of the 50 most populous metros as well. I have been reporting this to you guys based on Redfin's weekly updates, this for months. Every single one of these biggest metros have posted decreases of new listings year over year for quite some time here. In fact, the biggest decrease of new listings was Las Vegas, Nevada, once again, down by nearly 48%, followed by Phoenix, Arizona, down by 41%. And then we had Providence, Rhode Island, falling by 36.9%. Seattle, Washington saw a decrease of 35.8%, and Newark, New Jersey falling by 34.8%. Let's also have a look at the number of pending home sales compared to previous years, going back to 2020. This is based on Redfin's data center. I really wish they actually provided 2019's numbers. So once we hit 2023 this year, they actually got rid of 2019 on their website. In any case, we actually can go back to 2020 though. So looking at the number of pending home sales, it's below last year's levels and also below 2021 and 2020. There's approximately 83,000 pending home sales over the previous 4 weeks. At this time last year, there was around 97,000. In comparison, in 2020 at this time, there was around 121,866 compared to only 83,000 this year. Regarding the number of new listings, take a look at this. New listings actually increased very, very slightly compared to last week, but we're still down by 25.1%. Last week, it was 27.1%. So new listings, approximately 85,000 of those. From this time last year, there was around 113,000 new listings, now only 85,000. This means we're missing approximately 28,000 new listings over the previous month compared to the same time frame in 2022. The impacts regarding the lack of new listings hitting the market, historically speaking, is this right here. a lack of active listings, or the amount of houses for sale nationwide, actually falling by 16.11%. That's actually the biggest year-over-year decrease going back to February last year. What's wild about this is that we have approximately 764,000 houses for sale, according to Redfin. To start the year, though, we had 804,000. This means, of course, we have fewer houses for sale right now compared to January this year, which is just absolutely insane. So here's inventory levels at this time last year. At this time last year, there was 911,000 houses for sale. To start the year last year, we only had 642,000. This means year to date last year, we had a gain of 269,000 more houses for sale compared to the start of the year. Whereas this year, we're down by about 40,000. I mean, what a big difference there. A gain of 269,000 last year, whereas this year, we're down by 40,000. I'm really curious to see what the rest of the year looks like regarding inventory levels. In my personal opinion, this is one of the main things I'm going to be focusing on, because if inventory continues to decrease like it has for the past several weeks here, this of course would put upward pressure on prices because we have a lack of houses for sale. What's also wild about this as well is that we tend to see inventory levels peak in the summer months. So potentially we have already peaked in the number of houses for sale. So we could get into a scenario here where by the end of the year, we would have fewer houses for sale compared to the start of the year. And this, of course, is a big problem if you guys are looking to buy a house this year. Now, speaking of housing inventory, here's a look at the month supply nationwide, because nationwide, the month supply is at 2.8 months. It has been increasing ever since the beginning of July this year, and also actually reached 2020's levels. We're still higher compared to last year at this time, but not by very much. Last year this time, the month supply was around 2.5 months. Let's also have a look at how fast or how slow houses are selling as well. Because days in the market is 27 days. This is actually slower by about 5 days compared to last year as well as 2021. Because last year this time, days in the market was around 21.5 days. However, though, houses are still selling faster compared to the same time frame in 2020, though, because back then, days in the market was about 43 days. One thing we should also expect as well regarding seasonality is this number should start increasing due to the fact that our housing market tends to slow down compared to the first half each year. And speaking of a decrease, the average sale price to final list price ratio has been more or less pegged at around 100% for the past several weeks here. This means on average that houses are selling for about the asking price over the past 1 month. This is actually below levels in 2022 though, because back in 2022, houses on average were selling for about 1% over asking. Now they're selling for the asking price. Also, let's have a look at the share of price reductions according to altosresearch.com. So for the 7 days ended July 14th, the share of price drops is at 33%, which of course means that 3 of every 10 houses for sale have reduced their asking prices. That's 33%, on par with last year's levels, also at around 33%, but higher compared to 2021 and 2020. But at 33% right now, this is actually a little bit below levels in July 19th, 2019, pre-pandemic, at 34%, and also below levels in 2018 at 34%. And with that said, please comment below with your biggest takeaways from today's video. Also, if you guys got any value out of this video whatsoever, then please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. Of course, I appreciate you. Hope you guys have an awesome day. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.